If I may, I'd like to ask you about Tommy Robinson, because he is intending to do a rally in September this year, and I think he's made it very public. He's asked you to appear. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I praised Tommy Robinson for what he did on the rape gangs, and Gordon Rayner at the Telegraph got upset because I think he felt that was not justified, and I don't agree with him. I think if somebody's done something valuable and is being proved correct, which Tommy Robinson has, you should give him credit for that. I don't quite understand why the state has this pathological hatred for Tommy Robinson. I don't know much about him. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him.
He's a nice enough guy. I quite like him.
I think he cares about his country, clearly.
Yeah.
But all politicians seem to want to avoid him like the plague. So I think from my point of view, I'm grateful for what he's done in that respect. I think what I want to do is unify. And what I will do, and you're quite right, he's asked if I would speak, but I've got to do and work out what is the best course to unity, I think. And unity is the most important thing. We want to avoid division. Division is not going to help us now.
No, I understand, because Tommy Robinson is used by the state and the political class as a totemic figure in the resentment and the just resentment that the working class has against the liberal establishment. They're the ones who have borne the burden of being the victims of the rape gangs. They're the ones who have borne the burden of the uncontrolled mass immigration that no one asked for.
Taking their jobs away.
Absolutely. But not just the jobs as well. The social struggle that it's been to find your community displaced and replaced with a new community that often isn't very polite to you. It's actually kind of hostile towards you. Like I met a woman from Hull when I was doing my MEP campaign in Devon, and she said, well, I had to flee because I felt the Pakistani community was racist towards us. They just hated us. And it's these sort of low-level daily interactions that you don't hear about because they don't make the news, but make life very unpleasant.
Well, for those people, Carl, I would say, for those people who don't know it, people should go and study the history of Lebanon.
Yes, absolutely.
Because Lebanon is that's your playbook.
And I think that's why they hate Tommy Robinson so much, because in him, all of the nexus of this betrayal is made evident. He's become a kind of totemic figure for the working class to stand against the current paradigm and say, this is what you've done to us. And essentially, if they say, oh, okay, yeah, good point, then they admit that they're all culpable for all of the horrors that have been visited on the British people. And Tommy really, his crime is being correct about all of this and presenting it to
I think it was in Luton, wasn't it? He saw it happening in Luton.
Yes,
in
one of his cousins,
very early on, early 2000s.
Was a victim of it, and he's become a kind of collective lightning rod. So I totally understand that you're reluctant to be divisive over it, because to the establishment, he does represent the ghosts of all of the victims. And so
I don't think we want to let the establishment divide and rule us. Well, and I therefore don't think we want to give them any ammunition with which to do that. So I think we have to be sensible and unifying.
Yes. But I also, I'm not trying to suggest that you should or shouldn't do anything, but I think that allowing them to control what rallies you speak at is also playing into the divide and rule a little bit. So it's just something to think about. I'm not saying you should do anything or anything like that, but and I'm not saying, there's a time and a place for everything, right? And so, I'm sure you'll make sensible decisions. I will listen
to your wise counsel, Carl.
I appreciate it. I'm sure you'll make sensible decisions. But while this is still a consideration, the establishment is still dividing and ruling us under that thing. So that's all I'll say on it. Right. So what's next? What are you doing next?
Well, I'm I'm so busy that I can hardly sit down, and I've
from one day to
made
another.
this joyful visit to Swindon, especially to see you this morning on my way down.
I very much appreciate
get home. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots going on. I mean, we have so much going on. We've got a very small team. I think as we get what I call the ammo into Restore, so we can start to develop policy more deeply. And I think very often people in Parliament just talk and then don't deliver. And what we want to do is we want to have the ability to actually develop the policy rather than just putting out a little header. We need to know a bit more of the details. So that's one thing we're very keen to do. We want to protect or we want to develop private prosecutions. I think private prosecutions, a bit like having a jury trial, it's a very powerful tool. People don't use private prosecutions very much, but I think they are particularly powerful. And what we want to also do is set up a whistleblowing unit. So, because I think now with the size of the state, we're already getting people because there are a lot of decent people in the country, even those who are indentured into the statist system.
Yes.
But they care about their country too. But they're trapped. They've got families, they've got responsibilities, and they can't necessarily kick against the system. That's what the system relies on. That's why it doesn't like high-minded, independent, wealthy individuals who can challenge the status quo. So we want to set up a whistleblower, and if we can start to identify where the state is being fraudulent or where it is breaking the law, where it is not serving the interests of the British people, we might decide that we're going to take out some private prosecutions. We might not. But if we've got the tools and we've got
the looming threat,
the ammunition,
might be enough.
We can start to affect the change. That's why Restore Britain is so important as a movement.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think, look, there's lots of stuff, and again, this is what it's taught me. I mean, even at 67, there's a lot I don't know. Bit like the reform guy who's running the Warwickshire County Council at the age of 18 with a budget of £400 million. When I was 18, I thought I knew all the answers. Now I'm 67. I now know I knew none of them.
Yeah.
So the answer is this guy probably thinks he knows what he's doing, but trust me, he doesn't. In the same way that MPs in Parliament don't. So look, this is to some extent a learning curve, and I think this is another sort of arrogant mistake that politicians make, is when people fire a question at them, they go, "We're going to do boom, 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 boom." Half the time they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
So why say you've got a clue? If you're sound, you're rather like water flows downhill. You will find the solution.
Yeah.
But you don't always know where you're going to find it or how you're going to deliver that solution.
And I think
I don't. Again, you're quite keen on, we got to have a plan.
Well, no. I have to ask. I have to ask.
I'm less clear that there is a plan. I think the plan will evolve. Well, it is evolving fast.
If it helps, it's just my job as an interviewer to ask the questions, right? But I'm actually very much like you. I didn't have a plan. I've never had a plan. But
it's all here.
Well, I know, but
the results here.
I know, but it wasn't planned, right? But the thing is, this is the old English way. We muddle through. We look at where we are, what would actually be the right thing to do, and the right thing tends to pay dividends. So you just do the best you can with what you have, and suddenly you realize that actually you look back and go, oh no, things turned out rather well, actually.
Well, a bit like a farmer might have a plan to grow a field of wheat like he did this year in my case.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't rain. So you don't grow much wheat.
Well, at least your fields aren't waterlogged.
That's the great thing about farming. It keeps you humble. You cannot have these highfalutin plans that then come to nothing, because Mother Nature has a way of bringing you back down to size. And I think that's why I like farming so much.
That's interesting. Thank you so much for coming in. Obviously, everyone go and join Restore Britain, follow Restore Britain on Twitter, follow Rupert on Twitter, and go and help out and do whatever it is you can. I mean, I'm sure any number of volunteers.
We're getting lots of offers of help. Again, that's why we need a structure to start to garner that as well. So I think the most important thing now is sign up, encourage your family, your friends, your community, get everybody to sign up. If you share the view that you can feel your country slipping through your fingers, that you want it back, that you want to restore Britain, sign up.
Yeah, and once, I mean, I've signed up, obviously. I signed up on day one. Once we reach a critical mass, and the thing is as well, what's come through on all of this is that it's a general project of accountability for the British people, because there is no accountability in public life, and this is really the only actual, like you say, non-partisan, non-divisive project that just works in the favour of the British people to hopefully bring some sort of accountability. But anyway, thank you again so much for coming in, and we'll see you in the future, hopefully.
Great to see you again.